What's up, everybody? Psych Out back here with another Castle Crush video. This is another Master Tournament win from the Archer Queen Tournament. This time using a different deck from what we used before, and we'll see the deck in a minute. But first, let's open up our Master Tournament chest. As we'll see, it was 10 consecutive wins. At least I'm pretty sure it was. Let's see if we get anything good here. Executioner, that's cool. Closer to max level Executioner. Okay, not too thrilled about the Resurrections or the Skeleton's Legion since I've already got all those. Spike Statue, that's cool. We can upgrade that to level 10. Ooh, we got a Legendary, and that was not what we were hoping for. And of course, a bunch of Wraith. Yeah, so overall, not the best chest from that tournament. I feel like I've gotten better chests out of ones that I've lost. In any case, let's take a look at the deck I've been using, and it's a deck I just sort of made up on the fly. This deck is, it puts two things together. It's a rush deck, so if you remember from the last tournament, I played a rush deck like this that had two warriors where those angels are, and instead of a pirate, we had a genie, so one pirate and one genie. This time I decided I would drop the genie for two pirates, and I decided to put the two angels in there for the warriors. And the reason I decided to do this, there were two reasons. One, I felt like I wanted to add some extra dynamic to the play, so I could for example, put that angel behind a Jester, put that angel behind the Hollow Knight, and of course put the angel behind the vampire. So it sort of combines some ideas in the rush deck, but it also combines the ideas from these angel decks. And the rush deck that I like to play is the one with the rage. So you can see that we have that, and you'll see that that plays a big role in how our deck works. So that was sort of reason number one, but reason number two, and I think one of the more interesting reasons to put angel in there instead of warrior. The problem I noticed when I play rush decks is that if I play that there's so many, let me put it this way, there's so many decks out there that use angel that when somebody plays an angel, you don't really know what they're playing. Could be a standard bearer deck, could be one of these top player kinds of angel decks, could be a power deck, could be this angel kind of rush deck that's kind of out there with the Skull Queen and things like that I've played before. But you don't really know. The problem with warrior is it only is played in rush decks. That is, hardly anybody plays warrior in anything but rush decks. So when somebody plays a warrior, you know it's a rush deck. And I didn't like this. I didn't like the fact that as soon as I threw a warrior down right away, my opponent immediately knew it was a rush deck. They immediately knew how to defend against the rush deck, and they knew what cards I had. So the beauty here is by playing the angel, and nobody plays a rush deck like this with angel. And to me, that was the beauty of this deck, is that I could put the angel out there. People would think I was playing one kind of a deck. I could even put the angel, the Hollow Knight, the Jester, but then finish them off with a sort of rush deck with the Rage and the two pirates. And that's what I think a lot of people didn't really expect about this deck, and I think that's what makes it work well. So the first game is against Arg, who is probably going to be saying Arg after you see the two games that we played against each other. Arg has played really well and almost won against me twice. So very good draw for Arg, pretty good draw for me as well. But it's a very good draw for him because he's got the Storm Elemental, and you can see we're doing no damage to it up there at all. Here my hope was that I could kill his angel. So that's what I'm really trying to do. I'm not that worried about the storm. I just want to kill that angel, and as you'll see, I didn't do it. So that kind of stinks. I decided to go for my own attack in the middle lane, although I know he's probably playing a standard bearer deck. And in fact, he is. So he's got just an incredible stack going up there in the top lane. My goal is just to try to win in the middle lane. I don't know if that was the best play, because now he's got everything in one lane, and I put out a blocker, and we do just enough damage in just enough time to get the win with 7. Yes, 7 health remaining, which is just stunning that we won the game in such a fashion. So that was round 1. Round 2 against King, who's playing obviously a Reaper deck here. And I don't really remember how this one went, so we'll just see how it goes. Obviously, King has a pretty bad draw here. None of the cards you really want to start with. Okay, he gets a Jester, so he can put something out there. He decides to put the Jester in the bottom lane. Here I've got some choices. I decide to go ahead and attack the Jester with the Pirate. Yeah, and so my opponent plays there. I really messed up here. I should have played my Jester first. I was thinking I could get the Pirate out and then play the Jester, and you'll see my Pirate does not survive. I was hoping to get the the Jester in front of the Pirate and just do the work that way, but this worked out pretty well anyway. My opponent tried to switch lanes but was too late, and ultimately you'll see that this is just going to be too much. Yes, my opponent does get out the Reaper, but now with the Rage, even the Angel will take out the Reaper before it can even get there, and the Raging Catapult is just too devastating. Nothing my opponent can do. So that was round 2. Round 3 against Kobe the Great, who's a pretty good player, although I have to admit I've had really good success against him in this tournament. I think he's probably not been very pleased to see me. I mean, I think mostly luck. He's beaten many of my Alpha Project colleagues in this tournament. And so, yeah. So, you know, again, one of the things that people want to target is their Angel. And so I go Angel, I go Boneyard. So it looks like I'm playing a pretty standard sort of Angel Boneyard deck. It doesn't really look like a rush deck. I play the Hollow Knight at the back because I want to get the Angel behind it. And yeah, I thought he was going to play a Reaper here, but he did not. And that was a mistake because now his Reaper's too far back, and I've got the attack going here, and he's going to freeze, but I've got the wind just in time. And okay, he could switch lanes, and he does. And now I'm just waiting because I want to play my Catapult, but I know he's probably got another ability to switch lanes, and I don't want the Reaper to run into my Catapult. So here comes my Catapult, and I should have played that a little. Oh yeah, I was trying to stop the Reaper in the middle lane, so I didn't do it there. So the Catapult, I just knew I needed to do some damage because I could get him in the other lanes. I had a Rage. I also have a Meteor coming, and so I was saving that Jester to stop that Reaper in the middle lane. So that worked out well. 1, 2, 3. So round 4 again against Arg. And so remember, we beat him with 7 health remaining, just barely surviving it. And now we meet him again. And again, he has a good draw, starting with the Storm Elemental. Always tough when your opponent starts with the Storm. And he gets Storm and he gets Boneyard, which is, really sort of the ideal combination. He pushes back here. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that move. So I decide I'm going to try to go for that Storm if I can, and by putting the Pirate here I can take out those skeletons and then use them to block for my own Pirate, and this works out perfectly. Now I'm playing a rush deck and I've done no damage to him, but playing the Skull Queen there was probably not ideal because it's going to allow my Vampire to take out the Skull Queen and also his Hollow Knight. And I put a Rage down in the bottom lane because I need to get some damage going. Okay, he slows all that down. I do finally draw a card I need. So again, here we go. It's getting close, and I think I finally draw the Wind just at the perfect time, and get down the Catapult. Now I just need the Catapult. I know I need the Catapult to get him under 800. Once he's under 800, the Meteor will do the rest. And so again, man, another close match against Arg. So we beat him with 7, and then we beat him with 255. I mean, that's pretty tough. 1, 2, 3. That was round 4. Round 5 against Des Kiz. Don't know this opponent. I think this opponent knew me though. Yeah. So playing sort of a mixed deck. Got the Standard Bearer in there. Yeah. So again, going with the Angel, which again, I think doesn't make it look like a rush deck. Now the Boneyard. Okay, and a good play by my opponent to go with that. And I am ready with my Hollow Knight. Now he decides to rage. I think he was attempting to save the angel there, but unfortunately that's not going to work. Now my opponent does get out the Reaper just in time. I tried to slow it down, but it was just too slow, so it didn't work. Here I'm really just waiting to see what my opponent's going to do because, yeah, okay, so here the Meteor is sort of a no-brainer. I've got to get rid of that Reaper. In the meantime, we're just doing lots and lots of damage in other lanes. I'm kind of just waiting on my Rage, and my Rage finally does show up. And yeah, it doesn't really matter if I Rage or not, but my opponent's really not going to have any chance. And I can get a Catapult out there, all kinds of things. At that point, it was game over. And that's the thing about these kind of rush decks. If you have Catapult and Meteor, you don't need to get your opponent's health that low before you can just finish them off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is against another opponent I don't know. I think my opponent got a very good start here, as I recall. Yeah, so he goes Mana Ritual. Yeah, Skeleton Swarm. And I misplayed this. I really should have played Angel in the bottom lane. And then I could have put the Hollow Knight in front. Now here I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to push it back. And that set his... I'm too slow here. I should have gotten that out much quicker, but it set his pirate back enough that I could come after it here. And now I've got my Jester now that his rage is worn off. And suddenly we went from, oh, this is looking dicey, to having complete control here. And my opponent's got really nothing to play. And so I decided to go ahead and go with this Vampire. And yeah, that Spectre isn't going to do anything. And now I'm waiting. We're going to throw out a bunch of Boneyards here. And of course, my opponent's going to try to stop a lot of this, but, you know, putting that in front of the Vampire really isn't going to do him any good, and it's just all over. So it started out kind of crazy, but that ended up being a pretty easy win. 10, 9, 8, 7, so that was round 6. Round 7 again against Kobe the Great. Again, playing the same Reaper deck. Once again, not a great draw. He's got the 2 Reapers and a Standard Bearer. Not really the draw you want, but I have an Angel, and he's going to kill it. The thing is, yeah, maybe killing the Angels is the right move. Maybe he should try to kill the Pirates in my deck. I'm not really sure. Here he goes for the arrows early, which is, I think, is fine. He could have elected to have gone for them later. Now, I maybe should have played the Jester back. That was maybe a mistake on my part, but here we go. And we've got the second pirate to try to deal with, yeah, he got that protection out, which is a little annoying. And then I'm going to push that back. I just really don't want the Reaper at my castle. He decides to go here to try to push it forward faster. And at this point, I decide, you know, really the only way to win is to go for a Rage. He switches lanes, which kind of stinks because my plan was to put the Catapult in that lane, so I have to put it in a different lane. And we're going to put the Jester down there just to slow him down. But in the meantime, we were doing enough with the Catapult to get the win. So that's, I think, the way you have to beat Reaper decks. You just have to be faster than them, because if you give them too long, they'll actually beat you in those. So, so round 8, I don't know this opponent, I don't think, but pretty highly rated. And he's playing one of these Angel decks that are very popular. And again, these are the kinds of decks I want my opponent to think I might be playing. And then I sort of surprise them with the Pirate and the Rage, sort of more rush style characteristics that I think they're not really expecting. That was kind of the plan for this deck, and it worked out pretty marvelously. Okay, so here I go with the Jester just to try to save my Angel for right now, with the plan being I'm a little worried that he might have freeze. Now I decided I'm going to go ahead and kill that. Yeah, he's already used a Wind, so I definitely want to go up there and try to kill that Phoenix. Now he will kill my skeletons, but this is overall pretty good news for me. I mean, just in really good shape. There's really not a lot he can do. Now he could play the Angel there, but he decides to play it here, and that's just going to turn everything right back around in our favor. He could have played the Angel in the bottom lane, and now it's just Rage and finish the game off. So ended up turning into an easy win, although it was fairly complicated. So round 9 against Art. Art from Active Clan, obviously a very high rated player, has more trophies than I do right now, has had a high of over 7,300, and is playing a deck that's pretty popular. Emerneto is playing a deck like this, if not exactly like this. So yeah, pretty popular deck choice here. And again, part of it is I know a lot of people are playing this deck, and that's kind of why I like my setup. Because now you'll see a very similar theme here. I'm going to go ahead and get the Angel out. This is just like the last game. And my opponent does freeze this time, and now I'm going to drop my Vampire. He pushes back. Okay, that makes sense. And right, we're going to go with our Jester to stop his attack. Okay, the shock actually didn't work though, because the everything in this lane is still strong enough that it can grab even without the Angel. It can still grab everything. Now suddenly he sort of lost all of the control of the board. Now he gets out the Skull Queen, but in the meantime, we've just got some thunderous attack going in the middle lane. And even with the Vampire, the Rage is just too much. There's just too much with the Rage, and it finishes the game. So again, it looked like an easy win when you look at the total at the end, but it was fairly complicated. And that was round 9. And round 10 against an opponent I didn't know, but you'll see, you know, this is the opponent has a good high trophy score and is playing a deck. This is the deck similar to F. Rebello. It's similar to what he's playing, if not identical. I think Rebello played with 1 Angel and 2 Jesters. So, you know, it's a good deck, and you'll see that it was not necessarily the easiest of wins. And so, yeah, I mean, not really crazy about my draw. I've got, you know, the Catapult, which is not really something you want to get right away. My opponent has not the best draw either, you know, getting both Angels and then the Standard Bearer. I think he decides to push back just to try to save one of the Angels because they were both going to die. Maybe shouldn't have played that there like I did, but I decided to go for this and just go all in on this lane with a Rage and see what my opponent's going to do. Yeah, and then backing it up with the Pirate, and all, you know, the Vampire there you might think is a good move, but it just doesn't, it can't handle it with everything with Rage on it. And ultimately that was kind of the tail of the tape. Yes, my opponent is going to slow me down here a little bit, but I just need to do enough damage to get my Meteor out, and that'll be enough to win. I don't have to, yeah, I mean, the Meteor didn't even need to hit. They did enough damage in the top lane. So ended up getting a flawless victory for round 10. So yeah, with a new deck, I mean, you know, you can't take complete credit for originality because, I mean, it shares many themes from some other decks. It shares themes from Rush decks. It shares themes of Angel decks. I think the additions of the Pirates and the Rage and the replacing the Warriors with the Angels, I think was enough to throw people off in terms of what I was playing. And then the addition of the Pirates to try to deal with all the Jesters and Skeletons that are out there, because they're both, you know, they're very good at that. And then when you add the Rage in, I think that really catches people off guard. They don't expect to see the Rage in a deck like this, whereas they might more expect to see it in a Reaper deck, or they might more expect to see it in a pure Rush deck with Warrior. But anyway, I thought it was a cool deck idea. I just gave it a shot and ran through 10 straight wins in the first try with it. So maybe you'll give it a try yourself in the next tournament. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.